Hello, my lovely individuals. Today, we are doing another art video. Sorry, I haven't been feeling well, and I feel like I start every video with that, but it's the truth, sadly. But, yeah. Ow. I got this big web, this big metal web, a couple years ago, and I really want to make a big, adorable stuffed spider with it. To go with it. So that'll be the Halloween video for this year, so yay, spooky season! Last year I did the Beetlejuice crochet project for Halloween, and I think this year I'll make a big spider for my web. So yeah, let's figure out what makes up a spider, I guess. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, now we need to figure out what the fundamental shapes of a spider are, which really shouldn't be that complicated, so we got a little sketchbook to figure it out. So theoretically, a spider would be what? A giant ball, and then a little ball, and then two, like, kind of pincery mandibles, maybe even rounded, so they're cuter, because we want this guy to be cute. The 8 button eyes, which I'll probably do buttons, because I have a lot of buttons, plus I just like buttons and want to use them up. And then, theoretically, there would be, like, the spider foot, the spider leg, and then, like, another spider leg kind of situation. Like, I imagine these two would probably be about the same length and attached, obviously, 4 on each side. And then I'll do kind of like Black Widow, so try to do the 2 triangles. So yeah, we need 2, 1, 1. That'll be 2 triangles. And then we need 8, 8, and 8. Which seems pretty easy fundamentally. Just need to figure out what length and the pattern we want to do for each thing. And find probably red buttons. I got some red and black yarn because most of the things I do are red and black, so I figured might as well continue the tradition. Goes with everything else. So yeah, should be pretty easy. Let's get into it. We start off with a magic circle, just like every other project that's in the round. Then we crochet 6 into the magic circle. Every single row after that, I added 1 increase, and I stacked them all together to give one edge kind of a V shape into it. I tucked in all my strings instead of leaving long tails because I like to sew my parts together with thread instead. For a size reference, they are about the size of the 2 joints of my fingers, and I enjoy puppeteering them like little gloves. I decided to do all the leg pieces first, as I figured it would be, quite tedious. So that means all the toesies are down, and now we gotta get into all 16 of the other leg pieces. Oh joy, goody goody. Part of the reason this project took forever. I made the leg segments by putting 8 single crochets into a magic circle. For the second row, I did an increase stitch in every single stitch, resulting in 16 stitches. I then marked off the last increase and did single crochets until I felt like it was a length that was long enough. Once I completed the first red leg, I made 7 more red legs, and then I made 8 black ones to match, because I'm going to go red, black, red as my sequence for the legs. Sorry about the cat hair in every shot, but I have 3 cats and they very much love me, and it's hard to constantly keep tabs on it. I then stuffed each segment of the leg to kind of get a gauge of how big I need to make the body pieces. This is definitely important to gauge while you're making the project, instead of making all the pieces and then tragically finding out everything looks weird all pinned together. I did both circles with 6 in the magic circle and increasing 6 on each row in order to result with a large circle Then I increased it by the same number of rows with just single crochet, and then decreased it in the exact same fashion, and then stuffed both of them. I did them back to back, but I only filmed one because they're the exact same process. I then picked out a bunch of mismatched red buttons because I just liked the aesthetic of it and kind of sized up where I wanted them to be. And then I figured out I had to sew all the ends of the legs together to make it fit properly. So I did that and then kind of sized it up. Getting a good idea where the legs are gonna go, I determined how to fit the butt into the equation. I figured I liked the placement of the eyes, so I went out of my way to try to sew them in, and I did it with thread. So it ended up taking like 87 passes, but I eventually got them sturdy and on there. I'm hoping they don't fall off. Considering it's just gonna hang out on my wall, it should be fine. I have a giant many-pound bin of various buttons that I would like to use on different projects because I do really like the aesthetic of buttons. I'm very much interested in getting into more clothing projects in the future too. After figuring out the perfect size for the buttocks, I sewed him on. And it looks like our cute little guy is coming together. I moved on to making the triangles. I made them in the round as to not break up the flow of the project. I started with 9 single crochets in a magic circle, and then I did 2 single crochets on that, and then 3 in the next one to accentuate each one of the points. And then I continued that pattern, increasing the single crochets in between each one until we're getting a nice rounded triangle. I sewed in the pieces with some thread, and then we moved on to trying to size up the legs where they should go. Once my little guy was lined up properly, I sewed them in, and his face ended up a little bit crooked in the long run, but oh well, it gives him some character. I then had to decide how I wanted to position each of the legs, if I should extend them out or fold them inwards. I eventually decided on folding them inwards, and we filmed a little bit of each of the process, but I ended up needing to do an update in the middle of this video. This little guy's taking a lot longer than I anticipated, but, you know, stuff happens. Little life update. I've recently been, looking into going back to one of my previous jobs. If you didn't know, my work history, we'll call it deli, painting, and the green store. So, I want to go back to the painting job, so I've been looking into that, which is a full-time job. And I haven't had a job in a while because my thyroid has been levels over 600 has been going down, so I feel a million times better than I ever did. But due to potentially getting a full-time job, this channel probably won't have weekly videos like it does anyway, but probably more sporadic. I'll try to do smaller projects, not big boys like him. I only doing him because of Halloween. But yeah, I'll always be here. I'll always be on the gaming channel. Always creating. The only time I didn't create was when I was being mentally abused by a sexually frustrated alcoholic. But other than that, I don't think that's gonna happen again. So, yeah. I'll always be here, and don't worry about it. Obviously, I would love for this to be my career, but it just isn't right now. We just bought another car, and it's time to get back. It's time to get back into the grind, and obviously continue doing this kind of stuff. But, yeah, I'll always be here. Don't worry. I'll probably have to change the banner to whenever I get shit done instead of once a week. But yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. Wish me luck. Let's get back into sewing the last little bits on this guy. All that seems to be left is the bottom of the legs, and then I give him a little mouthy. So, while he lovely dances for you guys, as I like making my characters do for some reason, I made the little, what do they call those little mouthpieces? Mandibles? I'm not sure. But I'm just made them using 6 single crochet and a magic circle and extending them by about 3 rows, and then sewed them in. And just like that, our lovely little guy is done. Okay, and just like that, we have our lovely little Halloween special, our spider. I don't know if I'll continue every single year doing a big crochet project for Halloween, even though I love my big crochet projects. I am very guilty of that. I have a ton of different ideas. It's more of just doing them. It's hard for me to sit down and just do small drawings, but I need to do more of those kind of videos. Because that helps keep the content flowing and it attracts a lot of people who just want a simple watch, who don't know anything about crocheting and stuff like that and aren't interested in it. And I think I said it in the video, I want to get more into sewing. I've been seeing some people do like patchwork and stuff, so I got a little bit of stuff for patchwork because I want to make a cute set of overalls. And then I'm still working on the large video that will be covering this chair. I got a bunch of those cords done. I got a ton of stuff in the works. I've been doing the Dang and Rumple Wheel series, which I just started. I want to do more of that, which continues the digital art stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of ovens in these buns. There's a lot of ovens in these buns. No, there's a lot of buns in these ovens. It's just, getting to do it. And with the new car and potentially the job, I will be with less time, but I just need to dedicate even harder, I suppose. And I've been feeling like garbage. I need to get away from soda. I think a lot of that's probably my problem. Plus it's making my teeth yellow, which doesn't help. But, yeah. I guess that's it. That's all I have to babble about. Oh, I put the spider on the thing with safety pins. I didn't sew them in or anything in case I want to move them in the future. But yeah, I think that's it. I'll ramble later. But please like, comment, and subscribe. As you know, it always helps out. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Bye! Kisses? Love you. I love you so much. You're such a good boy. Kisses? I love you. You're such a good baby. I love you. Go to bed, cutie.